Welcome to Creative Writing Magic. My name is Randy Whiteside, and today we're going to answer the question, what is an allegory? And how is it different than a metaphor or symbol? Let's get started. So an allegory is a story that points to a deeper meaning, idea, or concept, where the deeper meaning can be thought of as the moral of the story. The purpose of an allegory is to basically help the reader understand a deeper concept. Also, it helps make your writing more interesting. So an allegory and a metaphor are pretty similar, but they're different in their own right. So an allegory is a story that points to a deeper meaning, whereas a metaphor is a comparison that points to a deeper meaning. So an allegory is sometimes referred to as an extended metaphor because with the metaphor, the comparison has the deeper meaning, but with a allegory, the story itself has the deeper meaning. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples of allegories and metaphors. So with the allegory, a great example is Aesop's fable, The Tortoise and the Hare. This is a story that points to the moral, slow and steady wins the race. So as you can see, the deeper meaning is contained within the entire story, not just one character. Whereas the metaphor is the deeper meaning at the character level. So for example, you have the tortoise is a metaphor for a methodical person. And then the hare is the metaphor for a rushed person. Okay, so let's talk about symbols. Pretty much everybody's familiar with symbols because they are all around us. The definition is basically an object that represents another object. And to specifically call out that this is not a comparison like a metaphor, it's a representation. So some examples include a flag is a symbol for a nation. The heart shape is the symbol for love. The bald eagle is a symbol for the United States. The smile emoji is a symbol for I'm smiling. And the list goes on and on and on. Okay, so let's recap what we've covered so far. First, we talked about how an allegory is a story that conveys a deeper meaning. The example that we used is the tortoise and the hare, where that deeper meaning is the moral that Aesop was getting across, which is slow and steady wins the race. So next we talked about metaphors and how they're a comparison that conveys a deeper meaning. And specifically the hare from the tortoise and the hare story is a metaphor for a rushed person. And the tortoise is a metaphor for someone who is methodical. Then we talked about symbols and how a symbol is an object that represents another object. And the symbol is specifically used to represent something else and not be a comparison like a metaphor. And one of the examples that we used is the heart shape being a symbol for love. So now that we're familiar with what an allegory is, let's take a look at a classic allegory example from a novel that's well known throughout the world. And that novel is the classic Animal Farm by George Orwell, which was published in 1945. Animal Farm is a political satire on the Russian Revolution that had occurred in 1917. But instead of just recanting the facts of this Russian leader did this and this Soviet leader did that, George Orwell used farm animals as metaphors to tell the story of the Russian Revolution. In doing so, on the surface, Animal Farm is just a story about farm animals. But when you view the story as an allegory, the story about farm animals now points to a deeper meaning, which is a political satire on the Russian Revolution of 1917. If you liked this video, be sure to click on the thumbs up and the subscribe button, and also click on the bell to receive notification for future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.